Hello Redhawks, IDTT here with another Canvas tutorial. In this tutorial we will be discussing creating assignments and assignment groups. In order to create an assignment, we would need to be in the course we want to create the assignment in, and then we're going to go to our course navigation menu and we're going to click on the Assignments tab. Keep in mind that your Assignments tab might not be in the same location as what you see in this video. It will depend on how you have your course navigation set up. If you're unsure of how to set up your course navigation, there is a video all about course navigation within Canvas that you can access from our YouTube page. Once you're in assignments, you'll see in my course here, I already have some assignments that have been imported for various reasons. But in order to create the assignment, I can click on the blue assignment button. Before we get into creating an assignment though, I do want to mention how to create assignment groups. Assignment groups are good for two different reasons. One, if you plan to use weighted grades, so maybe 20% for classwork and 50% for tests or whatever your weights are, you would need to get groups set up in order for it to calculate your grades the right way that you wanted them to be calculated. The other reason would be just for organizational purposes. So as you can see, all my assignments right now are in one big group, which makes them a little difficult to find, a little cumbersome to work with. So putting them in groups gives me the ability to break them down into subcategories, which makes things a little bit easier. So in order to create a group, I click on the plus group button in the upper right hand corner, and I would give my group a name. So I might have a group that I use for tests. I already have one by default in here as assignments, and there was already one down here called essays. Maybe I'm going to make another one, and I'm going to call it projects. So those might be the groups that I want to use. You might have other ones. You might have a group that you don't actually have an assignment in. So maybe you do something with an in-class participation or a thing that's not graded through Canvas. You can create those groups as well. Now, in order to set the weighting up, which is worth mentioning while we're here, initially you have to go in and click the three dots, the kebab menu over here, and click assignment groups weight, and then you'll have to check on weight final grade based on assignment groups. Once you do that, then you can go through and assign the points however you see fit. Missed one, so go through and just give it some random ones, and it totals up to make sure that you're not over or under the 100%. And go ahead and click on save. That's useful to do first if you can, because then when you create an assignment, you can put it directly into a group and you don't have to go through and spend time reordering. So to create an assignment, like I said earlier, we'll go ahead and click on the add assignment button. When we add an assignment, we're going to give our assignment a name. So we might call this like week 1, day 1, introduction, whatever that might be, just kind of a generalized thing. Here we can add a variety of directions. They could be text directions. There are a lot of options. This item is called the Rich Content Editor. Basically works much like Word or Google Docs would. You can do all your formatting options, highlights and colors and changes. You can add links, so maybe there's something to an outside source that you want them to be able to reference or have for this assignment. I can add images. I can add media to my assignment, so maybe I want to post a video within the assignment to kind of explain the directions as opposed to writing them out. Maybe they're a little lengthy to write out, maybe easier to explain. There are different apps, things that you can use. You can add tables. You can embed things, so if there's something, some sort of code you wanted to embed from a different place, there are all those options. We will have content on our YouTube page that will cover the content editor in a little more detail. So after we have our directions set up, we can assign it a point value, so maybe this assignment's worth 10 points, and then assignment group, which is what we just created. So now that we have those, there, we can create or put that right into an assignment group, or we can create another group if we would like to. Maybe we missed one, we don't want to jump back and forth. You could create the group there. We're just going to go ahead and leave it in assignments for now, and then we can display the grade as a variety of options. It might typically is going to be points, possibly percentage. Maybe this is just something you want to say you did it or you didn't, complete or incomplete, or maybe you just want them to turn something in, but there's no point value assigned to it. So we could hook that to a not graded. We're going to go ahead and just go with points here. Then we get into our submission types. Okay, submission types, there are 4 different things. A no submission is very similar to an on-paper submission. Really, it's differentiating so the student can kind of tell a little bit better. So no submission might be like, maybe we did a class activity, maybe we did a verbal critique of somebody's project that was presented in class, and you want to put that in there and score them and allow them some credit for participating. There's nothing for them to physically, or rather digitally, submit in Canvas, but there's still a need for the assignment to be there so you can assign points to it, and it will display within the gradebook once it's created. Very similar to that would be the on-paper option. On paper would be maybe you gave them an actual sheet to fill out. Maybe it was some group work they had to complete some notes for, things of that nature. Online is going to be they're actually going to submit something through Canvas. So when you choose online, it gives you the option for what different entries that they can use. So you might just want them to be able to type right in Canvas as a text entry, or maybe you want them to be able to upload a file. So maybe a PDF or a Word document, things like that. You can also have them specifically have to turn in a URL. Maybe you have them go out and find an article. Then you want them to submit that URL, but only that URL. Media recordings, you can have them record their answers in audio or video formats. And student annotation would be you give them a document specifically that you want them to mark up and then re-upload. You can also restrict file uploads down here. So maybe I don't want them to be able to turn anything in. So enter a list of accepted extensions. So maybe the only thing I want to accept is a PDF. So they would not be able to upload a doc or anything like that because I restricted it rather to the PDF. You can change how many times they can attempt. You can leave it as unlimited, or maybe this is a one-time only type of thing, so you could set that up. There are also options here for plagiarism review, so through Turnitin, which we will go into later, but if you wanted to basically check to make sure that things weren't plagiarized, you have that option to run it through here as well. Again, we'll cover how to set that up at a different point in time. Group assignments, again, something that's a little more, along with peer reviews, both a little more advanced features that we'll have separate videos that cover how to do those things, but that's where those would be located. And then finally, assign to, by default, it goes to everyone. You do have the option and the ability to assign to individual people. Maybe there were some circumstances that required a different due date. So we'll set this one up and I can show you how to do that. Maybe I want this to be due on the 17th. And then I can also adjust the availability. So maybe I don't want this assignment posted over the whole weekend. I don't want people looking at it, working ahead. I might not want it to post until the 16th, and I might want it to go away once the due date hits, or maybe I want to give them a day to be able to turn it in late. In the event that somebody would need more time, I can go through and pick the student. I can change the date for them. Maybe they needed it until Friday because they had a family emergency, and then I could change the availabilities of those as well if I felt the need to. So you could always add those, and those can be added after the fact as well. Once you have everything set up, then you can simply click on Save. That will make sure the assignment gets saved, or you can use Save and Publish. Publish is just saying that you're going to save it and that it's going to be viewable or visible to everyone in the course. Either way is right. You can always publish at a later time, but you have the choice to do that when you go there. So that's how you set up an assignment and assignment groups. As always, if you have questions, please contact IDTT, and we're happy to help you work through those and move forward. Have a good day.